Hello everyone and welcome to the Deepbluerenegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deepbluerenegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys, to episode number 116. It is the combs. It is Sunday, January 3rd, 2016. Oh man, 2016 now, so crazy. They'll probably take me like a month to get used to writing the number. And welcome. I am mainlining warm liquid. I have a cold and am rather congested, and hopefully the delightful drugs kick in soon, because that'll make me feel a lot better. And I do have some stuff to show you today, so, or you guys are here. You could go for the Texas Ollie Y'all. Okie doke. So, I think I finished a row of the sweater. Yes. Looking good. So I am working on the mold cider, which is the Thea Coleman pattern. I guess I just need to move my whole bag over here. I don't think there's anyone else in my bag. No. Should be good. I'm still working on the back. Feed. So, alright, this is the correct side. So I am coming along at this point. What is it? I probably need to measure again and see, but I'm supposed to have however many inches from when I started casting off the sleeves to now. So it is getting close. So that probably means I shouldn't be knitting more on it until I verify how far I was. I was getting close, so I don't know. Sometimes I can surprise myself and do 2 inches randomly. So it's coming along. It's huge, and you can't even. I guess you guys can see a little pattern here. So that is coming along. I'm probably going to knit up all of the main body pieces and then seam it together and see where I stand. I'm a little bit worried based on the measurements that it's actually not going to have enough positive ease, so I'm going to remeasure it. Like, the gauge swatch didn't change size at all, so that would imply that the sweater isn't going to change shape at all. So I might need to be a little bit creative with the front panels or something like that. Maybe make them a different size than the back one. Well, we'll see. It would require some more shenanigans also for like the sleeve cap and that sort of thing. So at the moment it's pretty close to my measurements, which would mean it wouldn't really make a nice, cozy, oversized sweater. Let's see. And I am knitting it out of my chocolate Shetland fleece, which I am storing it all in here right now. And that's a lot of yarn. Oh wait, can you see it all? So much yarn. So I just go through whenever I run out of a skein and switch it out. So I think I have 2 pretty new balls now, so I'm probably 6 balls in at this point. Which is, and I'm not going to use the full 6 balls, so that means I'm probably still on track if you assume a third for the back, a third for the fronts, and a third for the sleeves. I'm also working on the Aeolian shawl. I am now into the final agave repeat, but not super duper far. I think maybe, yeah, so I'm probably 2 rows into the final agave chart, and I think there are 10. So this is out of Miss Babs Katadyn in the Baird's Whale colorway, aka Moby Dick. And I'm liking how the agave chart is working up, so that'll mean that I have 3 repeats of this, and then I'll start the edging. I think I'm going to do the big edging instead of the small edging, but there you go, some agave action. I don't think I'm in, yeah, I have a right sidebar to do, so I think I'm going to pass on working on that on the podcast. So it's coming along nicely. I might need to go to the bead store. I'm pretty sure I lost my crochet hook and a tube of beads, which I guess this is fairly sensible, considering they were together. I do not know where they went. I already went to Michael's and bought a new crochet hook. And I think what I had been using was a 1.2 millimeter, but it had a very narrow shaft so I could fit 7 or 8 beads on at a time. And the one I have now is a true 1 millimeter crochet hook, but it flares out a lot sooner, so the most I can hold is like 4 beads on it, which is why I didn't originally buy it, but I didn't want to buy a whole another set just for one hook. And there are probably stores that sell, stores that sell them separately, because I'm trying to think about which one I had and which one I don't have. I know I got a Susan Bates one, which was the one that wasn't quite right. And then I did end up starting a new project. Oh, so Aylin is a Elizabeth Freeman pattern, and it's free on Knitty, so I can give you more details than usual. I did start something new. So I am hosting a resolution cal in the sock knitters group. And so the point of this knit along is to, to declare something you wanted to do for 2016, and then go forth and do it. So I ended up deciding one of my, well, this has been an intention, as you guys know, for quite some time, is, so one of my intentions is, like, I end up digging up the oldest skein of yarn in my stash, and then I knit with it. In this case, this is pretty specific. This is the oldest skein of sock yarn. And this is out of, I believe it's Dragonfly Fire, or Dragonfly Fibers, which I ended up buying back in 2011, so that's where I stand on the sock yarn stash. It is in the colorway Deep Ocean, so it has some very dark blue, and then this sort of Kelly bright green, which is pretty cool. And I am knitting a Yvonne Reynolds pattern, Beldame Knits, and I am knitting, the pattern is called Everdeen Socks, so it's Hunger Games inspired. I'm supposed to go for however long, and then do some pattern, and then go for however longer, and then actually get into the ridiculous cabled pattern. It took a little bit to get used to her style, and so it took a couple of rereadings, but perhaps I was already falling victim to the haze, which is the cold. It's hard to tell. And I'm currently knitting these on my double zeros, because it is a 2-ply 100% merino sock yarn, so I figured bulletproof gauge was going to be the best situation for this. And perhaps it really needed to be a shawl, but I declared it to be gone, so I shall make it so. So I will be hosting the Cal and the Sock Knitters group until the end of February. So it's the January-February Cal. And it's been interesting, say for example, to hear about people's goals and what they want to do. So some people are all about finishing their works in progress. Some people are like, oh my gosh, I can never buy stash again. I don't necessarily feel that way. I just want to make sure that what's in my stash doesn't get, like, too old. You know what I mean? Like, what? So this yarn, I've owned it for, what? If I actually bought it in 2011, that means it's, what, 5 years, maybe? Something like that, maybe a little bit less. And you think about how much yarn I have in my stash, and it seems to make sense that I probably have that sort of backlog, if that makes any sense. What I haven't done and haven't felt so OCD to do is to go through and enter in all of my yardages for projects and that sort of thing. And update basically my yarn counter so that, well, what is it? It's nice to know basically how much I'm using and how much I'm buying, and I'm going to take a guess with that latest Woolmeister order that I just hit it out of the ballpark with, what is it, 2 skeins of Woolmeister lace. That always hits pretty hard on the yardage total because, well, that's like 2 miles of yarn. It's a lot of yarn. So, so it'd be the case where I was a little bit worried. So I cast this on yesterday at knitting. I think we're finally no longer being disrupted schedule-wise. So I think this is ending up being, it's sort of making a slowly traveling spiral of dark blue on it, and then the rest of it is this foresty green. So I think it's gonna go. And I just barely got a start on this anyways, because if I'm hosting the Cal, I should probably knit a sock for the Cal. You know how it goes. So it looks like this is going to hold up decently for the pattern, because it's lace and cables and full of shenanigans. Very, very full of shenanigans. And then I'll need to print out a copy for myself at work. Let's see if I can pull it up for you guys, so I can show you the ridiculousness of this. And there are only 15 projects for this pattern, which I found to be very surprising, considering how pretty it was looking. We'll try iBooks. There we go. Where I left off. So this is the socks that I'm going for. Up. Reflects. There we go. So you guys can see these cables full of shenanigans. Pattern toe, all sorts of cool things. So I'm looking forward to it. It's not going to be a simple knit, and I really do need to get the paper pattern going, because that'll make it a lot easier to put around. The iPhone is honestly a little bit too small for charts and that sort of thing. Excuse me. Looks like the Sudafed is now kicking in, so that's good. I'm still drinking my cold coffee. Okay, and that's all my knitting. I would have preferred not to have 3 projects on the needles, but Cal hosting, fine, whatever. I can deal with it. Let's see. So I am working on, or I did end up getting a decent amount done in the processing fleece front. So I am all done with the little balls. And honestly, I actually made a pretty good progress in spinning all of the little balls as well. So I misjudged. I ended up having about, so these are how many balls I have left to spin if they haven't been falling out of the bottom of this bag. This bag is very destroyed. There's like a giant hole. Hopefully they haven't been falling out. So I have these many balls left to spin for my second bobbin of white Shetland fleece. We're going to bring it in. Oh wait, you can't see. We'll rotate gently. Alright, so this is what I have working right now on the wheel. is the white Shetland fleece. The white Shetland fleece is what I bought from the Woolery as a part of the combing kit, and you can see the combs were flying all over the place at the beginning of the show. And I am still working on, so I got all of the white stuff done. So out of 16 ounces of fleece, I ended up getting 10 ounces, well, maybe a little bit less than 10 ounces of spinnable fiber, and then I ended up getting a little bit more than 6 ounces of useless fluff, which I'm probably going to put in my compost pile. Actually, I'll quick grab it for you guys. So, I have filled this bag with 6 ounces of useless fluff. I could possibly run it through the combs again and see what I could salvage, but I also ended up mixing in some of the mystery fleece in it as well. So I think I'm just gonna call this done, and it's gonna feed my compost pile. So, and let it, I think, what is it, there have been a lot of questions about combing waste and what you should do with combing waste. So it'd be the case where if you're a felter, you can use the combing waste to do felting projects and that sort of thing. There was a suggestion to cart it in the video, but honestly, I just want to make this totally clear. It's crap. You don't want it. My heart does not break for my more than 6 ounce bag of stuff, because it's short, there's all sorts of small neps and oils in it, and it is not going to be fun to spin. So for all these reasons, I am excited that I found a very efficient way of getting the crap out of the fiber that I'm spinning, and whatever the stuff that I'm processing, that sort of thing. So would I prefer to have less waste? Sure. Am I beat up about the fact that I do? I didn't want to spin it. You don't want to spin it. I swear, it's gonna be okay. So that is really the only thing that's rolling at the moment, because I just wanted to finish up this lingering project so that it was done, and then I didn't have to think about it anymore, and then I can, put the yarn in my pile of handspun and not use it. And then I ended up splitting them evenly in half, so then I have another bag here, which is in fact whole and probably not dropping little yarn balls around. And this was a little bit less than 3 ounces. So the first bobbin was 4, the other ones will have a little bit less than 2, and I'll be making a 3-ply with the yarn. Now, on the front of the mystery fiber, I've actually come a pretty far way on it still. I've been having some nice quiet time where I've been working on processing it, and I do not, if anyone knows what sort of prep this is this cloud? Did someone dye it and then mix it? Or did someone's dog get to it? Because it's sort of bat-like, but it just looks like it was totally savage, which is why I'm combing it. So I made a lot of progress on this. So I used to have a full bag of this, and now I have 2 equally spaced chunks of it. And there's bright orange bits, and so when I end up combing it, it ends up being this sort of even, ruddy color, and really ends up blending it completely. So what I have now is solid fiber. And I have quite a lot of this actually at this point. So this is where I stand on that project. Will that just fall out? No, we're good. Okay, so I've been making the balls, and it really is very, very uniform, sort of a russety reddish brown. I was a little worried it might be a bit too orange for me, but I think it's gonna be fine. There was definitely more than a pound there. It was quite a lot. And as I'm like, but since I have no clue what I started with, I'll know what I have in terms of fiber, and that's probably going to be fine. I think last week I still had a pound left to go, and right now it's probably less than a pound. Like, I don't know if this is like 4 ounces here and there's another 4 ounces in there. This was the last big chunk. And so I've just been catching up on podcasts, and I am nearly there. So what is it? So I have part of an episode left to watch, but I figured that I should record while there was still some sunlight. Because honestly, there hasn't been a whole lot of crafting today, unfortunately. So I figured it was going to be a good thing to, what is it? Yeah, a good thing to record now. So I'm gonna probably, I have no clue whether or not I'm actually going to finish combing the rest of the mystery fleece. I don't think the mystery fleece is going to be immediately going on my wheel next. I think I still need to decide what I'm going to do there. I suppose, what is it? I know my friend Lindsay would be interested in knitting the Hit a Few Day with me, and she was showing me all of her pretty yarn that she got at the Miss Babs sale. So this would probably mean I would need to get a move on actually spinning it and figuring out what to do with the fiber. But I don't think I'm going, like, I've been wondering about what it is that I want to do and how it is I want to go about doing it. If I want to basically turn it into a gradient, or not. I'm not sure. Since it is a blend, I'm just a little bit hesitant, and then I have been going comb crazy lately, so it isn't nearly as much fun as when I first got started, but it's definitely a very chill, quiet thing to do, so that's been nice. So I'll have to throw some pictures into the blog post, but I did end up doing the annual Flash the Stash. I only needed to get 2 new bags in order to make everything nice and contained, and I ended up throwing away 6, which were bad. So this is probably a good thing for stash usage purposes, and I'm betting most of those, the reason why everything fits so much better was because all of the chocolate Shetland fleece is now being used up. So that's really cool. There's a little bit more room on the yarn shelf now than there used to be. I'm just glancing over in that direction. So that's nice. I'm not, what would it be? There definitely seems to be a lot more handspun, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that the only handspun that I knit with for Spin the Bin was, what is it? Was the first stuff I spun last year, which was the, some of the fiber which I ended up getting from the same lot as this, and the practice fiber I ended up getting when I bought my wheel. So the Willery is nice about that. So they make it worth your while to buy it there because they give you a lot of stuff to practice on. So all I made was the yoga mat bag with my hand spun. And then all of the rest of my pin spins from last year are sitting in plastic. Well, I guess some of my bin spins are being knit right now, so maybe it's not so bad. Maybe this is the year of hand spun. Who knows? I would, like, some of it is very, very nice, so I would like to make something special say for example with my BFL silk, which is pink and uber girly, but um, it's, I don't have any pink shawls. It definitely needs to become a shawl. I'm trying to think of what else. But so I'm guessing my Alicia Goes Round is going to be the next thing on my wheel, and perhaps even after I finish the mold cider sweater will be the next sweater that I end up knitting. And we'll continue to advance my spinning hand spun for garment skills. one can hope. So let's see. I will be able to record next week. Oh, I'm blanking right now. So if today's the 3rd, then it will be the 10th next week. And honestly, it will be I'm assuming it's going to be a very, very long time before the schedule is interrupted. So that's nice. I can, whatever, crank an episode a week, no problem. So that's happy. Alright, I'd like to thank everyone for participating in the Winter is Coming sweater cow. What is it? I believe that, I finished 2 sweaters. Allison finished 2 sweaters. And for the rest of you guys, you're still working on it, but it's okay. Feel free to, whatever, keep posting in the thread, that sort of thing. I don't really care. I'm not the sort that, like, locks and hides threads anyway, so, feel free to share from there. And speaking of that, I ended up getting some mail, because that's what ends up happening, is that you share your address and you get a little bit of that, so, and I totally forgot to show this last week, so, pardon me, but it's the case where, you end up getting Merry Christmas card. So I ended up getting it out. I think it did arrive on time, but I didn't check the mail, Jose, but thank you so much for the chocolate. I haven't eaten it yet, but I probably will soon, because I, need to mainline delicious food. So thank you so much for sending me a Christmas card in the mail. All the way from the Netherlands. I know, I really like the Netherlands, but that's because I'm crazy Dutch. Well, somewhat. So that was super duper sweet. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Other things I wanted to talk about. I think that was everything this week. And it's a good sized episode, I would say. 1 person in half an hour isn't too bad. So, with that, I hope you guys all have a wonderful week, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. So, take care, guys. Bye-bye.